Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
If you think for 1 second that I'm not about to get on this live show and talk my shit and toot my horn and tell all of the Russell Westbrook haters to kick rocks with open-toed shoes, you are sadly mistaken, my friends, because here's the deal. What you're going to tell me is it's one game. Yeah, it is one game against the best defense in the league. So what's the next excuse? Oh, well, it's a long season. Okay, well, it took you 1 minute to put Westbrook's face over mine, call me Rochelle Westbrook, and troll me for being excited about having him here in Denver. And let me just tell you something. Russell Westbrook has been balling out, and to be completely transparent with you, I don't want to sit here and insinuate that the Nuggets are better without Jamal Murray, but what I will tell you is Russell Westbrook right now is playing better on both sides of the ball than Jamal Murray has all season long, and that is a fact. We're also seeing more guys getting involved offensively. I am feeling like we are heading in the right direction. Is it a long season? Yes, it absolutely is. Do we have a lot more games and a lot of tough opponents in the Western Conference, especially that we've got to worry about? Of course we do. But one thing that I was very concerned about this Nuggets team early was their lack of rhythm and being in sync. And when we see them play in sync, they look like they're less tired. They're playing with that energy. They've got that third quarter magic. That is their sweet spot. That is the quarter that this Nuggets team really starts to figure things out. They went into halftime in an 11-point deficit. And honestly, that deficit came very quick because it was going back and forth pretty much throughout the first half. And I got to tell you, big takeaways in that first half. Hello, everybody. That was a good performance by Russell Westbrook. Of course it was. Of course it was. Westbrook just needed a second to get acclimated to this new team. P. Watt, amazing play, and Reggie Jackson isn't doing what Russ is doing. No, Russ raises the temperature every time he's on the floor, and I knew this would happen. If you're just a stats guy that only likes points, I can understand why you don't love Russell Westbrook on your team. But if you need Russell Westbrook to be scoring lights out every night, yeah, he probably won't work for you. But what this Nuggets team needed is energy and competitiveness in that second unit. He brings that. And now we're seeing Russell Westbrook, because Jamal Murray is out with a concussion, we're now seeing Russell Westbrook in starting minutes on a team that he is appreciated. He is allowed to make mistakes. He didn't have a good first couple of games. I believe he was 11.1% from the field. So not great performances early by Russell Westbrook, but he needed a second. He needed some time. And we are starting to see him genuinely elevate this Nuggets team as a whole on both sides of the ball, and that's what's important. We're starting to see Russell Westbrook find his rhythm offensively. He's not a perfect shooter, and I don't think that we'll see that from him. We won't see these 29 point performances from Russell Westbrook often. I truly believe that we won't see that often. We also may not see Russell Westbrook go 3 of 4 from 3 often, okay? But for him to be able to do that against one of the best defenses in the league, yeah, it feels pretty good, and it's really exciting to see him finding a little bit of groove and finding his position offensively with this team. Because defensively, he's already gotten 2 defensive player of the games in this short season so far. So we know he's got the hustle, we know he's got the drive, and we know that defensively he does bring some upside to this team. Reggie might be a better 3-point shooter, but I swear he is not doing everything. Russ is all around. Russ is all around, and I love it. Like I said, defensively, there is an upside, a huge upside with Russell Westbrook. Now, turnovers. That is my one thing with Westbrook that I'm like, that's where him and Reggie kind of look similar to me. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe. Yes, please do that. Listen, I do a lot of things in my career where I say something very loud and proud, and I say it with my chest, and I don't turn my back on it. And there's a reason that even though Russell Westbrook was 11.1% from the field, I never unpinned that video from my page. I didn't hide from it. I didn't hide from the fact that I was excited about Westbrook. I didn't hide from the fact that when he had really bad performances in the first 2 games as he's debuting as a Denver Nugget for the first time, I didn't run from the fact that I made that statement and I was excited about him being in Denver because it was early and I knew that with time being on the floor with a guy like Nikola Jokic, it would elevate Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook would get more comfortable in Denver. He would find his rhythm in Denver, and that's exactly what we're seeing. One thing, like I said, if all you care about is points, keep scrolling because that's not the type of conversations we have here. And honestly, that's a very whack and very, that's a very whack way to watch basketball. If that's all you care about, then you're a casual, and let's just move on with that. However, if you do watch Russell Westbrook, even when he's bricking shots here and there throughout his career, whatever, one thing you can never take away from him is his competitive nature, the drive that he has, the way that he can absolutely elevate not only players around him, but the team as a whole. And like we say, he raises the temperature every time he's out there. Defensively, I've been very impressed with him. And tonight, Russell Westbrook, the leading scorer for the Denver Nuggets. His stat line is 29, 6, and 6. He was 3 of 4 from 3. All right, those turnovers I mentioned, not loving them. He did have the most turnovers in this game at 4. Now, let me tell you something about those turnovers in the first half. That was truly where the game got away from the Nuggets. It was back and forth offensively. We had really great moments. Biggest takeaways from the first half are the turnovers. They were playing very sloppy basketball, which again allowed a team like OKC, who is such a strong team all around, firing on all cylinders, really, to get ahead of this Nuggets team. The other thing that I think kind of hurt the Nuggets in that first half was MPJ starting slow. It took MPJ a little bit of time to find some rhythm. We saw him hit some big threes there in the second half. He ended up being 6 of 10 from 3. One thing about MPJ, and I have to just, as a fan, every time I watch this Denver Nuggets team, I have to remind myself, he's going to keep shooting. Even if in the first half it was like, oh my God, please stop. They're not falling. I'm getting stressed. We're falling behind. Quit taking bad shots. MPJ has to keep shooting because eventually they will fall. Tyler says, I need you to talk all the smack in the world to the haters. You deserve this night. Listen, here, like I said, one thing I have learned, if any of you were out there saying, I want to get into this career field. I want to have a podcast. I want to post on social media, whatever it may be. My biggest piece of advice to you is stand by what you say it with your chest, because at the end of the day, you may be wrong. And in which case, get ahead of the haters, clown yourself, troll yourself on social medias, tuck your tail and say, listen, that was a really stupid take. I've had many of them. Okay. But when you say something confidently with your chest and then it ages like fine wine, nobody can stop you. What can the Lakers fans truly say to me tonight? What? It's one game? Yeah, it's one game against OKC. This is probably the game I would expect him to play the worst in, and he played his ass off. He was arguably the reason the Nuggets were able to win this game. Both sides of the floor, he was balling out. Westbrook haters, of course, tonight feeling very mute. Reminds me of that TikTok sound. Are you silent or were you silenced? Yeah, Lakers fans tonight, absolutely silenced. There's nothing they can say. He balled out. Also, can we talk about how happy he looks in his post-game interview? He just looks happy to be here. He was even asked, are you happy to be in Denver? To which he said, yes, I am. Let's talk about it. Jamal Murray did not play. He's in concussion protocol right now. And to be honest, I liked Russell Westbrook with starting minutes. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do. God, I certainly hope not, considering we just paid Jamal Murray a max contract. I would hope he's not a max contract bench player this season. But I don't mind having a nice little healthy rotation of sprinkling in some Westbrook minutes as a starter, even when Jamal Murray is healthy, because I liked what I saw tonight. I really, really did. Let's keep talking about it. We also had another very important player out tonight, Aaron Gordon. We know what Aaron Gordon brings to the table. He can go body to body with just about anybody in this league. He plays a very physical game, very aggressive, and it's something the Nuggets desperately need. So when you see a Peyton Watson getting starting minutes, who didn't get any preseason minutes and has had some ebbs and flows, right? With P-Watt, he's a young guy. At Media Day, we heard from Coach Malone, who said, I want him to work on his mental maturity. And we can actually see that in games. We can see Peyton Watson make some mistakes, kind of do some things that you're like, why'd you do that? Don't take that 3-point shot. Oh, the missed free throws. But then you see late in the game, seconds on the clock, he misses both free throws at the end of the game. Don't love that. The Nuggets are only up by 2 at this point, so you kind of need those free throws against a team like OKC. But what does P. Watt do? He doesn't sulk. He doesn't sit there and feel sorry for himself. He hustles down the floor and gets a beautiful, tips the ball for a block to then end the game, and the Nuggets get a dub. So I like this hustle we're seeing from Peyton Watson, and he, to me, is a player that's only going to get better the more he's out on the floor. That was something that if you've watched this show with me before, you have heard me say 1,000,001 times. Peyton Watson's not going to get better if every time he makes a mistake, you pull him out the game. He's not. He's not going to grow. And if that's what Coach Malone wants to see out of him is this in-game mental maturity, it's not going to happen unless he's playing. Well, Peyton Watson got 34 minutes tonight, okay? The most we've seen out of him maybe ever. He got starting minutes because Aaron Gordon was not playing. By the way, I don't love that Aaron Gordon's injured, and I don't love that Jamal Murray's injured, but I do love getting our bench guys good minutes because our bench played their hearts out in the second half of this game. And our bench has actually come up to be very important for us. We'll get to more of those bench players, but I do really, really like the idea of having our bench guys get some more minutes because I think that's the only way they're going to grow. I think Russell Westbrook is great for Peyton Watson. Like I said, he missed those 2 free throws late in the game. He could have felt sorry for himself, sulked, woe is me, and instead he hustled down the floor, very Russell Westbrook-esque of him. He got a block. The Nuggets win the game. So very happy with the progression we're seeing from Peyton Watson. He had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, hit one very big 3. He actually did that last game, I believe, as well, where he had a late game 3 that just kind of flipped that momentum. I think Peyton Watson is one of those players that when he turns it on, when he lights it up, he can really, really take the momentum, flip it around, and work it in the favor of the Denver Nuggets. I'm liking that with him a lot. And then, of course, 1 steal, 3 blocks for Peyton Watson. Again, I'm liking what I'm seeing every time he's out there. I'm seeing something new that I like about Peyton Watson. He's getting good minutes. I think Aaron Gordon will be out for a little bit here, so we're going to get to see more of Peyton Watson and hopefully see him continue to grow as a player. Okay. Like I said, MPJ with a slow start, but ended up finishing 24, 7, and 3 with 6 3-point shots. Like I said, MPJ, just get used to it. He is going to keep shooting even if they don't fall because eventually they do fall for him. But it is a little nerve-wracking to watch him keep going for it. And you're like, it's not your night. But you also remember, eventually it will be his night. And despite his slow start, 6 of 10 from 3. We love to see it. Jokic, triple-double, flipping machine. The rebounds were outstanding from him tonight. 23 points, 20 rebounds, 16 assists, okay? Jokic is that guy. And to be honest with you, I don't blame refs for how games end, but I will tell you, every time I watch Nikola Jokic play, this man is getting haggard and beaten. And it's tough. It's tough. There's games where I'm like, geez, can you guys just blow the whistle? This man is getting beat up out there. But he finds a way. He plays hard and tough, and he's Nikola Jokic. He's a 3-time MVP for a reason and should have been a 4-time MVP. We don't have to get into that, but it's the truth. Somebody says, Liv Moods making me want to dunk on a dude. Preach. Listen, I'm telling you, when the Nuggets are on, when this Nuggets team is synced up and playing aggressive and playing on both sides of the court, it is magic. It really is. CB tonight. Can I please get a hallelujah, amen, and a shout out to CB for his 3-point shooting, something he told us he worked a lot on in the offseason, something that I felt was his one downside being getting that starting position as our shooting guard, because he does have defensive upside. We've talked about that a million times. When you're looking at him and Strother, there is absolutely defensive upside with CB. And at one point I would have told you, yeah, there's some shooting upside, some 3-point shooting upside with Julian Strother that CB doesn't have. But now we're seeing CB find his groove from the 3-point line. 4 of 8 from 3. He ended with 24 points. Have you noticed a trend here? No Jamal Murray, right? What did I say about Westbrook? When Westbrook is running point, there are more guys involved. And I think he just has that energy about him where when he feeds you the ball, he's also passing you a little bit of confidence. Take the shot. Don't hesitate. Take the shot. And I love that. Every starter that we had outside of Peyton Watson, who was really a defensive guy for us in a big way tonight, had at least 20 points. Okay. MPJ with 24, Nikola Jokic 23, Russell Westbrook 29, and CB 24. Okay. We are getting more guys involved when Russ is facilitating this offense, and I love it. I'm not saying the Nuggets are better without Jamal, but maybe I am. Maybe I am saying that. Maybe I did kind of just say that. Is there a little bit of truth to that statement? I think there might be a little bit. Now, if you're giving me a Jamal Murray from 2023, please sit the bench, Russ. We'll see you next time. Okay. Bring that with the second unit. Keep it up, but bring it with the second unit. Right now, I'm sitting here thinking, I think we've seen better basketball out of Russell Westbrook on both sides of the ball than we've seen from Jamal Murray all season. Just saying. Someone's got to say it, and it's going to be me. You know it's going to be me. I'm always honest here on this show, okay? So that's the facts. And what I'm hoping is that Jamal Murray is sitting on the bench watching this offense and going, yeah, Russell Westbrook may have put a fire under my tush. One thing from that very now viral clip of me talking about Russell Westbrook that the haters, of course, love to pull up during bad games, but they get really quiet. These haters, these Russell Westbrook haters, must have a very early bedtime on the nights that Russell Westbrook plays well. Or maybe their phones died. Or maybe they're sick. I don't know, but they're silent. I don't see them. They're not in my notifications. You guys have to understand, I'm told a million times a day, don't read your notifications. Haters will hate. I don't get bothered by it. I really, really don't. It does look refreshing. Like it totally does. Absolutely. I don't get bothered by the haters because at the end of the day, I love my life. Like when I close this laptop and turn off my phone, I love my life. So like the haters really don't do anything for me. But I do, get in the notifications occasionally and I read stuff. And, for some reason, I had way less notifications tonight. Yeah, interesting. I'll have to do some digging and figure out why, but I think I know why my notifications are pretty dry. In the last 2 weeks, I said that CB is better than KCP, and people laughed at me. Dude is amazing. I'm gonna give you. Is it Dejan? I don't want to mispronounce your name, but you absolutely were in the comments a couple shows ago expressing that CB to you you felt like he was going to be not only a great replacement, but maybe even better for this Nuggets team. And I got to tell you, I'm going to give you credit where it's due. You are onto something because I'm liking everything CB is bringing to the table right now. Another guy that I want to talk about, bringing stuff to the table that I like what I'm seeing here, folks. Hunter freaking Tyson, okay? Not a perfect performance by him by any means tonight, but he just seems to be right where you need him to be, okay? He had only 2 points in this one, but 4 rebounds, and those 4 rebounds just felt clutch. It was like, we needed that. That's what we need. That's what we need. Thank you, Hunter Tyson. He was also getting some more minutes against the Jazz. He got some more minutes against the Raptors. I really just I think there's a lot of I think there's a very high ceiling there for Hunter Tyson. I think he's extremely athletic, and it feels like he's exactly where he needs to be when he needs to be there. And I love that. So I am feeling very, very good about Hunter Tyson right now. Julian Strawther, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. A pretty complete stat line, if you ask me. Of course, would love to see some of those threes fall. He was 1 of 7. But I really do love that Strawther kind of has that MPJ mentality where he keeps shooting. Eventually they will fall. I'm not sure if you guys saw, I think it was CB missed a layup, and then Strawther was right behind him with a dunk. Strawther, again, one of those guys in our second unit that feels like he's just exactly where he needs to be when he needs to be there. And he comes up big for the Nuggets a lot. And I really love his hustle. He is just, I'm feeling really good. Listen, these bench guys, man. Zeke Naji, 3 points, 2 rebounds. He's a guy to me that I actually saw some good moments in the preseason, but I just don't know if he's got that. Like he needs that fire, that aggression. I don't think he has that. But what we're seeing from our bench is them obviously getting more minutes with 2 of our starters being down right now. And of course, you hate to see starters being injured. But one of the largest concerns for some time now has been the Nuggets bench. Where is the depth? Can we please give Jokic some time off his feet? This man cannot be playing 40 minutes every game. It's not realistic, but we're seeing our bench come up big for this Nuggets team, play tough. They're just playing their hearts out. And really, that is exactly what I expected of this second unit with Russell Westbrook as the veteran leading this second unit. That's exactly what I expected out of this second unit with Russell Westbrook on their side. There is not one game where I can go, oh, remember that one game Russell Westbrook looked like he played really, really lazy? I could name a few for Jamal. Oopsies! Oh, the mic just got hot. Whoa, settle down, Liv. No more shots being fired here. No, but I'm being serious, like dead serious. I could name a few games where I'm like, yeah, just didn't feel like Jamal was really in that one. Not feeling like he was locked in. Not feeling like he really wanted that dub. There is not one time I could think about that with Russell Westbrook. Not one. So that's exactly what I expected from him. Gonzaga always produces great NBA players. Yeah, you hate to see it, really. I think college basketball fans are like, oh, not this team. But yeah, it's the truth, really. There's a lot of hustle there, and I love it. Sixth man award, 7th to 8th grade. Holler at your boy. Vin wins. Hello, thank you for being here. Yeah, man, the Nuggets have some bench guys that are really showing up and showing out. And I think the more that they can find that rhythm and get in sync, the better off they will be. Truly, let me just check my phone here and make sure that we're not. Hold on one second. Anyway, I think we do have a few interviews that are going to be coming in from the post-game pressers of either coach or players or both. We'll have some stuff that we can toss to here in a second. But of course, for now, you're just stuck with me gloating about Russell Westbrook actually being a great addition to the Denver Nuggets, as I suspected that he would be. So that's that. Let's talk a little bit. We've got something here. We've got give us about 5 minutes, folks, and we will be ready with head coach Malone talking about taking down the best team in the Western Conference in OKC, who I believe up to this point was an undefeated squad. Well, not so fast, not anymore. Denver, after a brutal game in their opening night to OKC, just could not do a thing. Could not do a thing against OKC. OKC, again, proving why they're the best team in the Western Conference. Before this game, they were a perfect 7-0, undefeated, hadn't lost a game yet. And the Nuggets just dealt them their first loss of the season. And the Nuggets fought like hell for that win. That was not an easy win. May I remind you, the Nuggets went into halftime in an 11-point deficit. I think at one point in the third quarter, it got all the way up to almost 20 points. I think it was like maybe 78 to like, I don't know. It was not good. It was not looking good. Okay. There was a moment there where OKC was just, they weren't missing and we were turning the ball over left and right, and MPJ hadn't found that groove yet. It just felt like nothing was going well for the Nuggets. And I got a little worried. I was like, oh, this feels like deja vu. We've seen this before. Just a couple weeks ago, we watched this exact story unfold. And then end of that third quarter, I'm telling you, third quarter is the Nuggets quarter. That is just where they light it up and they start playing Nuggets basketball. The first half, I don't know if they're pacing themselves. I don't know if they're looking ahead to their year and going, we have a lot of games. Let's take our time. Let's find our rhythm here in the first half. Don't do anything crazy. Don't make any bad decisions. I want to think that that's how they're playing in the first half, but then we turn the ball over 11 times. It's like, well, I'm not sure we're really playing great basketball in the first half. It's reading pretty lazy and sloppy in the first half. And then third quarter, here they are. The second the other team may let their guard down a little bit, here comes Denver, ready to rock, ready to go. And they just did what they needed to do. And our bench guys are showing up and doing what they need to do. Now, in this game, the Nuggets have struggled defensively, in my opinion. They have allowed more 3-pointers than I think I would like, especially you just look ahead at the Western Conference as a whole and you're thinking to yourself, okay, if we can't get a handle on some of this perimeter defense, hell, just look ahead to this week. Okay. We play the Heat on Friday and we play the Mavs on Sunday. You don't want to play perimeter defense against Luka Doncic? Good luck. Ha! Good luck. You want to let Kyrie Irving just do whatever he wants? You're going to let Klay Thompson, old head Klay Thompson, just run all over you? Come on. Can't do that. And the Heat, they've got shooters. Listen, I don't know what the Heat's ranked right now. I don't know what kind of noise they're making. Have not really been paying attention to. I know that the Heat did lose to the Suns tonight. I also hate that the Suns are second in the West right now. Hate it. Really, it's not fun for me to see that. But the Heat 3-3, third in the Eastern Conference. They're still a good team. They competed pretty well with the Suns. They only lost by 3 points. So again, there is this was a big win for the Nuggets. This was a really big win against a really good team, right? Because what we saw on their little road stretch was them finding some rhythm, MPJ getting hot, Russell Westbrook defensively heating up, finding some good moments offensively. Strother coming up big for us. CB continuing to do what he does. So we saw some positive things happen in their little road stretch there, and it made you feel like, okay, there's some hope here. Not all hope is lost. We've got something brewing here. But then there was always that little voice in your head that was like, yeah, but we're playing the Raptors. Like not saying the Raptors. By the way, the Raptors are a great basketball team. But when you compare them to the Western Conference, like if we're having close calls against the Raptors and the Nets, it's going to be a long season. So for them to get a good win against a really good basketball team, I think is exactly what they needed to show, hey, we've got what it takes. And we're without two of our starters in this game. That's huge because it forced our bench to come up big for the Denver Nuggets. And the bench was a massive concern for this Nuggets team entering this season and last season. So that's a big thing. That's a really big thing to have two of our starters not available tonight. And still they were able to not only compete with OKC after not competing with OKC just a couple weeks ago, but beating OKC and playing very, very good, synced up Nuggets basketball, that classic Nuggets basketball that we know and that we love. It was very exciting to see that. I'm looking forward to here in a bit. We should be able to hear from head coach Malone about what he's got to say about this not dominating win, but dominating performance, I would say. This Nuggets team is looking more like themselves, which is a really exciting thing. 124-122, Denver Nuggets getting the dub against a phenomenal OKC Thunder team, the best team in the Western Conference right now. They were undefeated coming into this game, and the Nuggets just handed them their first loss with two starters unavailable. The bench guys really showing up. More importantly, Russell Westbrook showing up. We do have the clip ready from head coach Malone talking in the post-game presser, so let's find out what he has to say about this dub. Check it out.
Coach, how much do you credit Russ for beating you out of that lull in the third quarter?
Well, I credit all the guys. I mean, yeah, Russ was great tonight, but it's never just one person that ignites a break or a comeback. Obviously, we were down by 16 points at one time, and to Ryan's point, we lost another first quarter. But again, viewership is up. But yeah, I mean, Russ is 29, 6-6, and Nikola Jokic. I mean, that's one of the most complete games I've seen him play. The 23, 20, 16. But he had 8 deflections, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was our defensive player of the game. I thought he was outstanding. CB, 4 of 8 from 3, shooting the ball with no hesitation, great confidence. Michael Porter, 24 and 7. So, to beat a team like OKC, Vic, it takes everybody. But I obviously, for a 17-year vet, to have that kind of a game was tremendous, and I'm really happy for us.
Did Cole stress you out at all with some of the inbound pass there?
No. Not at all. Yeah, I mean, it's they score, and there's no need for us to rush. You know what I mean? And we throw it ahead, and obviously, Peyton goes to the foul line. He doesn't make them. But the best part about that, Bennett, and you already know this, is that Peyton Watson misses 2 free throws. But on the other end, doesn't drop his head, isn't in his feelings. He makes a play at the rim against one of the favorites for MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a game-saving block. And that's what you love about Peyton Watson. And that was a huge, huge block, obviously. So we're proud of him for recovering after the free throws and helping us, give them their first loss.
What does it do for young players to come up big, repeatedly, multiple times, back-to-back games like Peyton did, and then the big moments later?
Well, your hope is that it just, gives them more and more confidence. That was a question that was asked, I think, by Vic pregame. You know, Peyton hits a huge three in our last game to help us win. Tonight he hits another big three. He makes a game-saving block. He's in the game to close games. Like, you can't replicate that. And any situation, being in the game, close games, and now you're doing it against the undefeated team that's beaten us 4 straight times. So you hope for, I mean, I looked out there, I said, man, and that group was playing so well, I was going to get Russ back in, but man, CB and Julian and Michael and Peyton Nicole are playing great. They got us a lead. And then you get Russ back in late, but you just hope it builds some character and some confidence.
You had 9 fast break points at half, you had 10 in the third quarter, and it seemed like when you guys would push the pace on them, that sped up their offense as well. Was that a big part of what you saw the turnaround in the third quarter?
Yeah, it was something that we stressed. If you can't play the number 1 defense in the NBA in the half court, it's just a losing proposition. They're too good. Obviously, I think in that first quarter, our turnovers were out of control. We had 18 for 23 in the game. That's an area that we have to clean up. But I felt, that was a message at halftime again, like, fellas, like, we have to get out and run against them. If it's a half-court game, it's in their advantage. So to finish with 21 fast break points and the turnovers got so much better in that second half, that cut down their break and that cut down their paint points. And, I felt if you can force them to play a half-court game, and we tried a lot of different things tonight. We zoned, we blitzed, we hit, knowing we were undermanned. I said going into the game, we have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Let's be aggressive. And our guys did a hell of a job of staying with it throughout.
So you got the ball, you got the sack in the third quarter.
Finally, a good question.
Yes. You're obviously making that case for Joker, but are you also looking for a spot, or is that just happenstance?
No, I think it's a combination. Yeah, I mean, like I'd say 95% of my texts are, have a plan behind it. And so to your point, I feel like Nicola's getting beat up, and I got to fight. I mean, everything Nicola's done for this city, this team, this franchise, me, my family, I'm going to fight for that guy, and anybody else in our team. But it's also like, hey, man, I don't know what we were down at that point, but whatever the run is from that tech after, we got back in the game. And so you're hoping to kind of light a fire under a guy. Hey, let's keep fighting. We're not going to just kind of go gently into the good night. Let's fight and stay around and see what happens. And that's been a common theme. That's one thing. I'm not proud of the fact we haven't won a first quarter. I'm proud of the fact, though, we don't get down and we don't quit. We stay with it. And that's the sign of a champion, in my opinion.
Doesn't necessarily shoot the ball poorly, but does it go into your head when they're missing a couple of layups that you need here and there, and you guys are keeping it close? That might be one of those nights where if y'all make enough plays down the stretch, they're allowing, you guys to get a game that's running away. Maybe out of game.
Yeah, I don't know. They're a good team. They're not going to go away. They're going to stay with it. We had a couple of great possessions, and I told our players at halftime, I said, fellas, we don't have a margin of error tonight. And we got 2 key guys out. So we can't allow Shea to go coast to coast like he did in the second quarter. We can't allow Shea to drive away from the double team. We can't play great defense for 22 seconds and give him an offensive rebound for an easy putback. I think they had 18 second chance points. But, yeah, you can say it wasn't their night, but that second half, man, I thought our defense, we were flying around, covering for each other, and it wasn't always right, but we had a fly-around mentality and played with great multiple effort.
Coach, can you make a case that Jokic's defense is a lot better than that? He put in that second half, Shea dribbled the ball off his foot, got a turnover, felt the teammate on every play. He was just going all out.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've been with them for 10 years now. And for anybody to say that Nikola Jokic is not a good defender, I would question their basketball intelligence, and I would question how much film they're really watching. Because you don't have to be athletic guy blocking shots and pinning them on the glass to be a good defender. You don't have to be a great athlete to be a good defender. Nikola Jokic has tremendous intelligence. He has the best anticipation I've ever seen, and he has a want and a will to win. And he's the anchor of our defense. We were top 8 last year in defense. And Nicola's contest numbers, deflection numbers, and you talk about it, all the pick and rolls, all the actions that he's put in, he's a thoroughbred. He's able to go play through all of that and make plays on the other end as well when he's getting doubled and triple teamed every night. So it's incredible. We know who Nikola is. I think he's a great defensive player. And I think he's proven that time and time and time again.
Porter 1 for 6 from the field at halftime. It seems like OKC's been pretty good at taking him out of his comfort zone at times. What were you guys able to do to kind of unlock him?
Well, yeah, well, I think Michael being aggressive, we ran a bunch of plays to get him looks, and I think they're a great defensive team. They have some really good defensive players, and if you're going to try to get somebody open, you have to screen. So Michael's setups, creating a lead, and the screen, creating some sort of separation. Michael at 6'10", and the way he shoots the ball, doesn't need a ton of it. And it was great to see him get going, because that was one thing we said at half. Like, Russ had a good first half. We have Nicola. We need a third scorer. We need somebody else, so we're not going to Nicola every time down the floor. And Michael answered the bell, CB answered the bell, and I thought Julian had a couple of big plays. Again, 9 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds for Julian Strawther off the bench are great numbers for a kid who's still a rookie. Yeah, well, I think he's been incredible for us. You know, you look at the offensive productivity tonight. I think defensively he's been a rock star. I mean, and what I love about Russell Westbrook, 17-year vet. Leopards don't change their spots, but he is trying so hard to be like disciplined. He's trying to do the things we're asking him to do, and I appreciate that so much, because at 17 years in, a lot of times you are who you are. But he cares, man. He is so invested in this team and what he's bringing to this team, and he's so hard on himself. But I love the fact I can coach a guy like Russell Westbrook any day, because he is a competitor and he's a tough dude, and I want him in my foxhole. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the fact that truly, not only is Russell Westbrook starting to find his rhythm with this team and balling out offensively. We've seen him be defensively pretty strong for this Nuggets team through a few games now, but I feel like we're starting to see him a little more consistently offensively make some noise, which is a really exciting thing to see. But 17 years, I mean, this man, the old heads in this league don't play like old heads. I'm just saying. They really, truly, I mean, you look at LeBron, you look at Russell Westbrook, they don't miss a beat. And the way that Russell Westbrook can hustle to the rim, it's an impressive thing, period, but especially impressive when you've got him in his 17th season in the NBA. Yeah, there's not 1 ounce of me that worries about what Russell Westbrook will bring to this team. Not 1 ounce of me. I haven't been worried one time, hence the pinned video on my page that I took a lot of slack for in the first 2 games of the season, and I kept it pinned, and I said it again with my chest, okay? Because I believe Russell Westbrook will come up big for this team in more ways than one, and we're seeing that now start to unfold. I did see some comments in here about some upsets that took place tonight. The Warriors taking down the Boston Celtics. Listen, I will be live tomorrow, okay? 12 p.m. Mountain Time from this very chair, breaking down the NBA. We won't just talk about Nuggets, because obviously we're talking about Nuggets right now. We will break down the NBA, where these teams are standing, some of my hot takes as it pertains to this many games in the season. We will do all of that tomorrow, so set your alarms, put it in your calendars. We will have all things NBA talk. It will not just be Nuggets talk. We can talk about some upsets. That wasn't an upset. Well, true, but I think that, there's a lot of people out there that feel like the Boston Celtics are an untouchable team, which in so many ways they are. I know they had some injuries to their roster, which doesn't help, but okay, put that comment on the screen, Jesse. You already know which one I'm talking about. What the hell is your problem? Nuggets are ass right now. First, I want you to start by dropping what team you support. I bet it's the Lakers that got stomped by the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Just a guess. If that is your team, talking awfully loud for a guy that's on the downhill of the roller coaster ride right now. Just saying. It is a long season, and I'm not sure what tonight gave you the impression that this Nuggets team is ass. It would be very surprising to me that an ass team could be the best team in the Western Conference, but I digress. Crazier things have happened. But yeah, would love to know which team you root for when you watch NBA games. I would imagine it's probably the Lakers. You're probably licking your wounds. Lakers have kind of been on the outs. I mean, shit. I probably would have deleted all of my social media if I were a Lakers fan after they got beat by the Pistons. Just saying. So if you are a Lakers fan, makes a lot of sense. If you're not, I don't know what's your deal is and what your problem is. But the Nuggets looked great tonight, and I think there's a lot of people that really want this championship team to fall apart so bad. But there are moments when this Nuggets team plays, especially as of late, where I'm like, they've still got something special there. And if they can keep growing on this, we're in a good spot. The haters are typically the ones whose teams didn't play very well tonight. So I would imagine probably a Lakers fan, probably licking the wounds, probably still mourning the loss to the Detroit Pistons because hello, it's the Pistons. So there's that. We are going to have BK join us very, very briefly because it's almost 10:30 and we all need to get some sleep. JJ Redick's run already over in week 2. Listen, I actually do feel like the Lakers can still be something, but you know how Lakers fans are. They were the loudest ones in my notifications after their 3-0 start when the Nuggets started, a very sad, very, very rough 1-2. Their team was undefeated while our team was not. They had a lot to say. Oh, have fun with Westbrook. We're rid of him and we're 3-0. What's funny is I watch this Lakers team and I go, I think there's a lot of, if we want to classify Russell Westbrook as a flop or he did not do what he needed to do with the Lakers, right? Let's just pretend that that's what happened. It's not. But let's just pretend that that's what happened. Russell Westbrook, we're going to put him in this category of like, he was just an absolute disaster for the Lakers. There's a lot of Russell Westbrooks on that team currently, and he's gone. He's in Denver. So at what point do Lakers fans start to look in the mirror and go, maybe it wasn't Westbrook's fault. Maybe we are rooting for a franchise that is in this overturn of the moment you can't do something for us, the moment you can't do what LeBron and AD do, which by the way, nobody will. They're one of one. Okay. The moment you can't reach AD and LeBron levels and help us win a championship, you're out of here and you're the problem. No, I'm actually starting to think maybe the franchise is the damn problem because it's a toxic one. And there is this constant rotation of if you can't give me instant gratification right now and put 25 points on the board, you suck. No, actually, I just think your franchise sucks. Moving on. That's fine. Anyway, I do think that the Lakers will be fine this season. I'm just talking my trash because the Lakers fans are mute tonight for very, very obvious reasons. He says Lakers win just as many as the Nuggets. Of course, see, I told you. I didn't even need to know what team he was rooting for. And I clocked him just like that. The last 5 years, it's been all one-offs, no dominant franchises. Most of the Lakers wins, the rings that they got, one of which was in the bubble, which if you ask most people, they'll say it didn't count. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people will say that. Most of their championship wins, you probably weren't even alive for. So what are you holding on to? Take the posters off the wall. Let's be in the here and now, okay? And if I'm correct on the here and now, the Nuggets kind of own the Lakers as of late. So if it's such a winning championship franchise, then pick yourself up off the ground and win a damn basketball game. Please make it competitive. I'm begging you. Okay. Wow. That felt really good. Sometimes it just feels good to talk some trash to a Lakers fan, for God's sake. Okay, I've got my bestie BK joining from, I believe he's at Ball Arena. Maybe he's not. He is. I think he is. He's at Ball Arena. We're going to bring him on. BK, what's going on? How you feeling? Big dub for the Nuggets tonight. Big
I'm all right.
dub.
Sorry, I've been wearing a ski cap all night, so messing with my hair. But you're right. It was the Nuggets' biggest win of the year, Liv, and it's not even close. We got some adults playing, I don't know if it's a league game, pickup basketball behind me. Those are not professional basketball players, but we did see professional basketball players on the court. And, I was messaging you throughout the game, and then I even asked Michael Malone about the idea that early on they were missing some bunnies where the Thunder. And it's like, okay, if you're going to beat a team like this tonight undermanned, they're going to have to help you a little. And they did. Malone kind of pushed back on that, as I'm sure you heard, where he said, hey, I don't want to say that they beat themselves because they had a lot to do with it, especially in the second half. But Alex Caruso misses one. SGA misses one. And if you're going to beat a team that shoots the ball really well, they didn't shoot it poorly. Nuggets shot a little bit better from three and much better than they shot in the opener.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets got a little bit of help, I think, from the basketball gods.
Oh, wait. I think you went. Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah, no, honestly, really great performance by this Nuggets team all around. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the bench with you because unfortunately, we do have two starters that were out in this game. We hate to see them injured because we know how important that they can be. But we are getting more minutes for guys like Peyton Watson. We saw Russ in starting minutes. We're seeing Hunter Tyson get out there. Strother has made a difference as well. What have you been pleasantly surprised by in regards to our bench?
Well, I think they're being given an opportunity to go out and fail or succeed, and they're mostly succeeding. Last year, it was limited for kind of all of those guys in different forms and for different reasons. Julian looked good early, then got hurt and could never really find his way back onto the court. Peyton Watson was just kind of up and down all year. But you can look at the playoffs specifically. He never made the jump or contributed the way you thought you'd see him contribute or get the next step up from him for whatever reason. And then Hunter Tyson, who I didn't realize but was averaging almost 30 points a game when he was in the G League, he wasn't here as much. And then even Zeke Naji, right? He gets that new deal.
Yep.
He doesn't really get a chance to do much with it. And when he was on the court, he didn't take advantage of those minutes. Well, now all those guys are getting to play and they're all making plays, but out of necessity between vets that have moved on and then the two banged up guys that you mentioned, Michael Malone has to play those guys. And this is probably what Calvin Booth was looking at. He got in, I don't say in trouble, but people didn't love the comments where he said, hey, if we sacrifice the championship this year, I'm okay with it. And then had to come back later and say, hey, if that means we're winning 2 of the next 3 or 3 of the next 5 or 4 of the next 6 or 7, then I'm okay with it. And so whether Michael Malone was ready to give those guys extended minutes or not, he's having to. And ultimately, it's going to be a good thing. And it's allowing him to play with Joker. And that can only be a good thing, too, not just because they're going to play better, but they're going to get more comfortable being out there with Joker. And that's going to be valuable down the stretch and when they get into the postseason.
Absolutely. Russell Westbrook, we've got to talk about it. Of course, I've taken some heat on social media for my over enthusiastic approach to Russell Westbrook coming to Denver. First of all, in his post-game presser, he looked exceptionally happy, which makes me very happy because he's a 17-year vet. He deserves a ring, and I'm really hoping that we're putting him in a position to maybe get one here in Denver. What were you excited to see from Russell Westbrook, and how would you compare Westbrook's starting minutes to Jamal Murray's starting minutes?
Well, they're going to be different, and I think ultimately for this team to get to where they want it to go, they're going to need what they envision Russ being to come to fruition, with Jamal Murray being the guy they just gave a 4-year max deal to. And that's the guy that's going to come in with Joker and close out games. But when Russ is out there, and something that you and I have talked about, something I've asked Michael Malone about, and something that I think we've talked to Russ about too a little bit, but they did that he's going to run the second unit. And all these guys that are playing with the ones like Peyton Watson, like Julian Strother, they're going to be more confident, but they're all going to be used to playing together even more. And the second unit's not going to drop off or try to keep the score close when they go out, but extend the lead or go out and get a lead or cut into the other team's lead. And so I think ultimately it's good that Russ is getting to play with the starters, because there will be games where maybe MPJ doesn't have it, maybe Jamal Healthy doesn't have, or even AG doesn't have. You slide things around, and Russ is closing out games even when everyone's healthy.
Right.
But Russ's energy and his ability to continually get to the basket and play really good deep and get his hands into the passing lanes and track down loose balls and all of the stuff that we know that he can do has been valuable because they've needed it, but will be even more valuable when they may not need it as much. At the same time, too, I asked him, and he kind of downplayed it, so I'm going to have to follow up with this line of thinking. But everywhere he's been, the expectation's been much higher. He's alongside KD and James Harden. They get to the finals as youngsters. He plays 8 years with Kevin Durant, and then KD moves on, and he's got the team on his back for 3 years and is winning an MVP and triple doubles and all that. Then he's got the time in Houston. That was kind of weird. He goes home to LA, where he was obviously really good, even though he's young, but goes to a Final Four as a freshman. And an LA kid, SoCal kid. It just doesn't work with the Lakers. LeBron wanted him to be able to bring the ball at the court, and he just couldn't play in crunch time. It just never worked. Then he goes to the Clippers, and then that gets weird because you never know when Kawhi is going to play. And you got Paul George, and then you add James Harden. But it's like, okay, Russ, who is he? What is he? How does he help our team? How does he hurt our team? And now here, they just need him to be what they need him to be. Michael Malone talked about that he's embraced this role. He's not getting paid $50 million, $40 million, $30 million, just a few $1,000,000 to come in and be exactly what he is. And then some, because that's just the only way he knows how to go. So I know it's a long answer, but I think that Russ is a really big key. And assuming he stays on his normal trajectory, and you knock on wood that he's just going to stay healthy and be there for you down the stretch, I think that, and you and I are on the same page. I'm not as vocal about it, and I don't get into it with folks on Twitter the way you do. But I thought I was skeptical of the move, but when they made it and you realize what they needed it for, and especially losing Reggie Jackson, I think it's been huge, especially because when Reggie Jackson had to play for Jamal Murray, there was a drop-off. When Russ plays for Jamal Murray, they're not going to play the same, but there's not necessarily a drop-off, especially if you can go out and get you 30 points in year 17.
Yeah, absolutely. Any closing thoughts from you, BK, on kind of what it felt like in the arena and what you're hoping to see from the Nuggets as they continue their little home game stretch here and take on the Heat on Friday?
I think you want to see them close out and not only beat the Heat, but then beat Luka and Kyrie and the Mavs on Sunday. They should be getting Jamal back. I thought he'd go today, but then watch him in post-practice, kind of 2-on-2 after the shoot-around, and I guess he looked even better than he did Monday. And so you have to think he'll go Friday. We know it's a few weeks on AG, but own home court here in Denver. They lost those first 2 games that were tough to tough teams, and obviously the Thunder being one of the toughest in the West, but they hand the Thunder their first loss. They remind the Thunder, hey, you've beaten us 4 times in a row, but we've got a ring. You guys are still trying to figure out how to get there and get one. And so it's reminding people how dominant they can be when you have to come here and play a mile above sea level. And then just the idea that they're going to win a lot more games than they're going to lose. And rather than saying, you know what, they just didn't make any moves. I heard Dan Patrick say this morning on his show that the window closed and they didn't make enough moves around Joker to get him the help he needs. Well, there's a chance that these young guys really are what they think that they're going to be, that Calvin Booth and Josh
seeing
Kroenke,
it more and more every game, for sure.
So you get your biggest win of the year against an undefeated team that isn't as undermanned as you are. Yeah, they're without Hartenstein, but they haven't played with him yet. The Nuggets are without 2 starters, their second highest paid guy. And so when you can, I guess, steal a win at home, but beat a team that is, that's not only beating you, but is trying to stay undefeated, I think that's a huge building block. And it may help with tiebreakers down the road, but it just gives you a confidence and a momentum. And it's going to be fascinating to see how this confidence helps propel these young guys throughout the year.
Absolutely. Well, BK, thank you so much. I think I will be live tomorrow with an episode of Off Court. I'm not sure if you're jumping on with me or not.
I'm planning on it. No, I'm planning on it.
Cool. Then yeah, me and you will be talking all things NBA. There were some crazy little games that happened today, so we'll discuss that tomorrow. You get home safe because there's a lot of snow outside, so drive carefully, and we'll reconvene tomorrow, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, for an episode of Off Court together.
Sounds great. Thanks, Liv.
Bye. Have a good night, BK. All right, you guys. So like BK said, a lot of good things happening here for this Nuggets team, and there's a lot of optimism. In every game, we're seeing something that we like a little bit more than last game. And obviously, I have been high on Russell Westbrook joining this team for some time, and I took some heat for it, and I didn't care. I never really do. I've been this way since. You can ask any of my closest friends. Has she always been one to just say whatever she thinks and then like double, triple, quadruple down no matter what? Yes. Since I was probably 5 years old. Yes, this is who I've been. So I've been big on Russell Westbrook. I'm going to continue to be big on Russell Westbrook. He's not going to have 29-point games every single game moving forward. He's going to have games where he can't make a shot. He can't drain a 3. That's going to happen. But you can never take away the hustle that he brings constantly. We do have one super chat here. Can Nugs beat Lakers in 7 games live? I mean, they've done it twice now. So yeah. I think so. I think it's pretty self-explanatory there. They've done it once, they'll do it again. Simple. So yes, I do think that they could absolutely beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. Yes, I was standing on business with Westbrook. I'm going to continue to stand on business with Westbrook, and I'm very, very excited about the movement we're seeing. Like I said, we will have an episode of Off Court tomorrow, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, to break down the slate of NBA that we had today, the slate that we've got for tomorrow, as well as previewing that Miami Heat game on Friday. The Nuggets will still be playing at home Friday and Sunday. Again, we will be giving you coverage pregame, during the game, post game. We'll have some live shows. I'll be doing some content Sunday. I've got the Broncos and I've also got the Nuggets. So I will be dividing my time a little bit, trying not to go insane, but making sure that you guys have all things that you need for this Nuggets team. All of your favorite sports being covered here at Guerilla 7 days a week. Highest quality. You guys know the drill. Thank you for being here with me. I know it's late, especially on the East Coast. It's like past midnight. So thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for chilling and getting in the comments section. I'm hoping that down the road, as we continue to do these, we can start doing some giveaways. The more people that we get joining, don't worry though. I know the OGs in the chat. I see you guys. I know that you're here. Cedric, Melody is dead. We've got Tyler. We've got David in here. We've got Vin Wins. That's a new one that I haven't seen much of, but I'm excited to have you. Heartbreak Collision. We've got a lot. We've got some Laker fans in here. Noah. A lot of great people tuning in every single week. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for being here with me. Much love to you. Go Nuggets. What a freaking dub. And hopefully they will continue to build off of this on Friday as well as Sunday. I'm Liv Moods. Oh, TJ, I see you as well. I'm Liv Moods. Love you guys long time. This has been another episode of Off Court, and we will be live again tomorrow, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, to break down all things NBA as well as preview the Friday night game between the Nuggets and the Heat. Thank you for being here. Oh, we've got one more little comment here. A super comment. Keep up the amazing work. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Love you guys long time, and we'll see you tomorrow.